The last delivery. Raghuveer Singh had been a truck driver for over 20 years. He'd driven across every major highway in India, through deserts, mountains, and deep forests. But there was one route he always avoided, the stretch between Dhanbad and Giridih, deep in Jharkhand. Drivers whispered about strange sightings, voices in the wind, and vehicles that vanished without a trace. But one cold November night, Raghuveer had no choice. The delivery was urgent, expensive electronics to be delivered by morning. The shortest path? Through the haunted road he had always avoided. He left Dhanbad at 11 p.m. The skies were clear, stars glimmering faintly through a veil of mist. The road twisted through thick forests and steep hills, completely deserted after midnight. No cars, no people, just the sound of his engine and the occasional hoot of an owl. By 1 a.m., he entered the darkest part of the forest. His headlights barely pierced the fog. That's when he saw her, an old woman, standing in the middle of the road. She wore a tattered white saree. Her long grey hair hung over her face. Her feet were bare, toes sunk into the mud. Raghuveer slammed the brakes, heart pounding. The truck screeched to a halt just inches from her. She didn't flinch. "Beta, are you going to Giridih?" she asked, voice soft, almost kind. Raghuveer was shaken but nodded. "Yes! But what are you doing here, Amma? This is no place to be at night." She smiled faintly. "I need a ride, just to the turn before the hills." Something about her made Raghuveer uneasy, but he wasn't heartless. He opened the door. She climbed in slowly and sat silently on the passenger side, staring straight ahead. They drove in silence. The deeper they went, the colder it got, unnaturally cold. Raghuveer checked the air conditioning. It was off. Still, his breath fogged up. He glanced sideways. The old woman hadn't moved, but something was off. Her feet weren't touching the floor. Trying to stay calm, he looked forward again, but the mirrors caught his eye. She wasn't there. The seat was empty. Heart racing, Raghuveer turned his head slowly and nearly screamed. She was now crouched below the dashboard, staring up at him with milky white eyes and a grin that stretched too wide for a human face. "You should never stop!" she whispered. "Not here, not for me." Raghuveer slammed the brakes, jumped out of the truck and ran blindly into the trees. Branches scratched his arms and face as he stumbled through the forest. He could hear something behind him, soft footsteps, giggling, and that voice. "Don't leave me, Beta." Then, silence. When he woke, it was morning. The forest was quiet, the sun filtering through the leaves. He was lying by a tree, his clothes torn and face pale. A group of locals found him and brought him back to the road. When they returned to the truck, it was still parked where he had left it. Engine off, doors locked, but something was strange. On the passenger seat was a small bundle of marigold flowers, fresh, with a note tucked beneath. "Thanks for the ride." They say that stretch of road is cursed. Decades ago, a woman and her son were killed in an accident there. Since then, drivers claim to see her asking for a ride. Those who stop don't always make it to